Warning: the worst fruit for fatty liver after 60. There's a fruit in your kitchen right now that could be silently wrecking your liver, and the craziest part? You probably think it's healthy. But if you're over 60, this one fruit might be doing more harm than good. Now, we usually blame liver damage on booze, fried food, or processed junk. But what if I told you that something as clean as fruit could be the real problem, especially if you've got a fatty liver? That's the scary part. Most people don't feel a thing until it's already done serious damage. Your liver is a silent workhorse. It filters toxins, breaks down fat, and keeps your body in check. But fatty liver disease? It sneaks in without pain, without warning, and once you hit your 60s, the risks shoot up fast. The real shock? Most people have no idea that their daily diet, including the healthy stuff, is quietly stressing their liver every single day. So in this video, I'm breaking it all down. The fruit you need to stop eating ASAP, the foods secretly overloading your liver, and the simple steps you can start taking right now to protect it before it's too late. Let's get into it. 1. The worst fruit for liver health. The worst fruit for your liver might actually be one you've always thought was good for you. It's sweet, juicy, and often praised for being a healthy snack, especially for older adults trying to eat better. But what most people don't know is that eating too much of this fruit can silently damage your liver over time. We're talking about persimmons. Yes, that bright orange fruit that looks innocent enough on the outside. The problem with persimmon is that it's loaded with fructose, a type of natural sugar that, when consumed in high amounts, can overwhelm your liver. Now, don't get me wrong, persimmons do have some good things in them, like antioxidants and vitamins. But here's the issue. They also have a high glycemic index and way more fructose than your liver can handle in one sitting. When you eat a fruit like this too often, your liver has to work extra hard to process that sugar. And when it gets overloaded like that, fat starts building up inside the liver cells. That's when things start going wrong. This buildup is what leads to fatty liver disease, also called hepatic steatosis, and it usually creeps in without warning. No pain, no obvious symptoms until one day your doctor tells you something's wrong with your liver. And it's not just about fat in the liver. Eating too many persimmons can mess with your insulin levels, increase inflammation in your body, and make your liver less efficient at doing its job. This is especially dangerous for people over 60, who may already have insulin resistance, weight problems, or even a family history of diabetes or metabolic disease. And let's be clear, it's not about cutting out fruit completely. Fruit is good, your body needs it, but not all fruits are created equal, and not all of them should be eaten in large amounts. That's why moderation is so important. For a healthy person, one persimmon every now and then might not be a big deal, but eating 2 or 3 every single day, that's when it becomes a problem. Over time, even natural sugars can throw your system out of balance. And when it comes to the liver, a quiet but vital organ, you really don't want to take chances. It's better to be cautious now than to regret it later. So if you've been snacking on persimmons daily thinking it's a good habit, it might be time to rethink that choice. Try mixing in other fruits that are easier on your liver, like berries, apples, or citrus, in moderation. Being smart about what you eat doesn't mean giving up the things you love. It just means knowing what's actually helping your body and what's slowly hurting it without you even noticing. And when you're over 60, your liver needs all the help it can get. You've worked hard your whole life. Now it's time to give your liver a little break and a lot more care. 2. Understanding hepatic steatosis. Fatty liver disease, also known by the medical term hepatic steatosis, is one of those silent problems that often creeps up without warning. It sounds technical, but at its core, it means your liver is storing too much fat, and that buildup can eventually lead to real damage. What's even more concerning is that this condition can happen to anyone, not just people who drink alcohol. When it shows up in people who hardly or never drink, it's called non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. And here's the scary part. Most people don't even know they have it. There are no obvious signs in the beginning. You might feel tired more often, or maybe your stomach feels a little heavy. But nothing major enough to raise alarms. That's why so many people only find out they have a fatty liver when they get a routine checkup or blood test. But by then, some damage might already be done. And this matters a lot because your liver is one of the hardest working organs in your body. It handles more than 500 different functions, from digesting food and storing nutrients to cleaning your blood and helping with hormone balance. When your liver is overloaded with fat, it can't work properly. That's when inflammation can begin, and over time, that can lead to even more serious conditions like steatohepatitis, a more advanced form of fatty liver, fibrosis, severe liver damage, or even liver cancer. It's heartbreaking to think that such a crucial organ can slowly fall apart while we carry on with our daily lives, completely unaware. What makes things worse is how common this issue is becoming. Fatty liver disease is now being seen not just in adults over 60, but also in young people and even children. Why? Because of the way we live today. Diets full of processed foods, sugary drinks, too many refined carbs, and a lack of physical activity are a big part of the problem. It's a lifestyle that slowly hurts the liver without us realizing. Add in other risk factors like being overweight, having high cholesterol, insulin resistance, or a family history of metabolic disease, and the danger only grows. But here's the hopeful part. Fatty liver disease is often reversible, especially if you catch it early. That means with some changes in your daily habits, like eating cleaner, moving more, and managing your blood sugar levels, you can give your liver the relief it needs to start healing. But none of that can happen unless we first take the issue seriously. We have to stop thinking of fatty liver as something far away or something that only happens to someone else. It's real, it's common, and it's affecting millions of people silently. The first step to protecting your health is awareness. The second step is action. And you're already on the right track just by learning about this today. 3. Risks of common foods and fruits. How can you fight something that's happening quietly inside your body without any warning signs? That's the tricky part about liver health. A lot of people are trying to eat better and make smarter food choices, especially after 60, but sometimes even foods we think are healthy can surprise us. Take a walk through your local grocery store or farmer's market, and you'll see rows of fresh fruits that seem like the perfect snack, and in most cases they are. But there are a few fruits out there that, if eaten in large amounts, can do more harm than good, especially for your liver. One big red flag is fructose, a natural sugar found in many fruits. Fructose itself isn't the enemy, but too much of it puts stress on your liver because it's processed almost entirely by that one organ. Unlike glucose, which your body uses as fuel right away, fructose takes a detour through your liver, and that's where problems can begin. When there's too much fructose coming in, your liver starts turning it into fat. That fat doesn't just disappear. It stays in the liver, slowly building up over time, and that's exactly how fatty liver disease begins. Fruits like pecan and breadfruit, while rich in nutrients and fiber, are also very high in fructose. And when you eat several of them a day, especially on top of other sweetened foods or drinks, you're unknowingly asking your liver to do more than it can handle. That overload can trigger insulin resistance and inflammation, two things that speed up liver damage. The tricky thing is, most people think they're eating clean when they reach for fruit, so they don't question it. But just like with everything in nutrition, more isn't always better. One piece of fruit a day is usually fine for most people. But when you're having 2, 3, or even more servings plus fruit juice or sweet snacks, you could be putting yourself at risk without realizing it. It's not about cutting out fruit entirely. It's about understanding your limits and choosing wisely. Natural doesn't always mean harmless, especially for folks who are already dealing with blood sugar issues, belly weight, or other metabolic red flags. Your liver can only do so much before it starts showing signs of stress. That's why balance matters so much. Even with healthy foods, there's a line, and learning where that line is could be the key to avoiding bigger problems down the road. So don't be afraid of fruit. Just be aware of how much and how often you're eating it, and make sure it fits into a bigger plan that supports your liver, not strains it. 4. 5 fruits to watch out for. Just because something is natural doesn't automatically mean it's good for you in large amounts. That's especially true when we're talking about fruit and your liver health after 60. A lot of fruits do have important vitamins, minerals, and fiber, but when eaten in excess, some of them can quietly make a fatty liver worse. So today, let's talk about 5 fruits that might be sitting in your kitchen right now that you need to be careful with. The first one is pecan, which we already mentioned earlier. Even though it's packed with antioxidants, pecan is loaded with fructose and has a high glycemic index, which means it raises your blood sugar quickly. That's a red flag for your liver. When you eat too much of it, especially regularly, it spikes insulin and puts your liver in overdrive to process all that sugar, which can lead to fat buildup over time. The second one is breadfruit. This one's a bit tricky because it's hearty and filling, but it's also heavy on the carbs. That means it breaks down into sugar quickly, and if your diet already includes a lot of refined carbs or sweets, breadfruit can push your liver past its limit. The third fruit to watch out for is raisins. You'll find them in a lot of healthy snacks, trail mixes, and even baked goods. But because raisins are dried, they're basically little sugar bombs. When you remove the water from fruit, the sugar becomes super concentrated. So a handful of raisins might not look like much, but it packs more fructose than you'd expect. And if you're snacking on them throughout the day, your liver has no time to rest. Number 4 is mango. Mangoes are delicious and full of vitamins like A and C, but they're also high in sugar. If you're insulin resistant or managing prediabetes, mango can cause big blood sugar swings and stress your liver more than you realize. Last on the list is bananas. Yes, bananas are convenient, affordable, and a great source of potassium, but they're also high in natural sugars. Eating one now and then isn't a problem, but if you're having 1 or 2 bananas every day, plus maybe a smoothie or a fruit-based snack, you could be stacking up way too much sugar. For someone already at risk for fatty liver or metabolic syndrome, that's something to pay attention to. Now, don't get me wrong, none of these fruits are bad on their own. They can absolutely be part of a healthy, balanced diet. The issue is how much and how often you're eating them. It's all about moderation. Think of it like this. Your liver works hard for you every single day, filtering toxins, breaking down nutrients, and helping your metabolism run smoothly. But it's not invincible. If you keep loading it up with too much fructose, especially from these types of fruits, it's going to struggle. And over time, that struggle turns into fat buildup, inflammation, and even serious liver disease. So the key takeaway here is to be mindful, watch your portions. Mix up the types of fruits you eat and try to spread them out during the day. Your liver will thank you for it, and so will the rest of your body. If you're finding this helpful so far, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss our tips on staying strong and healthy as you age. And if you've got any questions or you're dealing with a specific issue, drop a comment below. I'm always checking and would love to help. 5. Other harmful foods and beverages. You might think you're making smart food choices, but some everyday items could be slowly damaging your liver without you even realizing it. It's not just about avoiding alcohol or fast food anymore. The real problem often comes from habits that seem innocent of things we've been eating for years. Foods like boxed fruit juices, soft white bread, sweet breakfast cereals, and packaged cookies might look harmless, but they're packed with added sugars, preservatives, and chemical ingredients that quietly overload your liver. Your liver's job is to filter toxins, process nutrients, and regulate fat. But when it's constantly processing sugar and chemicals, it becomes inflamed and starts storing fat instead. That's how fatty liver begins, often with no warning signs. Even foods that claim to be natural or low-fat can be filled with hidden sugars and additives, and unfortunately, these hidden ingredients are especially hard on the liver after age 60, when your metabolism naturally slows down and your body becomes more sensitive to imbalances. Let's not forget about ultra-processed foods, frozen meals, flavored chips, microwave dinners, and store-bought sauces. These are packed with sodium, unhealthy fats, and artificial ingredients that throw off your digestion and cause inflammation in the liver. Over time, this repeated strain wears your liver down. Even if you feel fine now, the damage can build up silently. One of the biggest hidden dangers: sweetened drinks. Soft drinks, sports drinks, bottled teas, energy drinks, and even fruit juices are often loaded with liquid fructose, a type of sugar that gets processed only by the liver. This puts a heavy burden on the liver, especially in older adults, and because it's liquid, it hits your system fast. Fructose gets turned into fat in the liver, and over time, that fat starts building up. Even the sugar-free or diet versions of these drinks aren't always safe, so just because someone looks healthy on the outside doesn't mean their liver is okay. The good news is that awareness is the first step. Your liver is one of the only organs that can heal itself, but only if you stop overloading it. After 60, it's more important than ever to protect it. Choose real whole foods, read labels, and be careful with what you drink. Your liver will thank you in ways you might not feel today, but you'll definitely feel the difference in the long run. 6. Fried foods and fast food. Let's talk about something most of us enjoy but rarely think twice about: refined sugar. It's in cakes, pastries, candy bars, cookies, chocolate, and even your morning toast if you're eating white bread. These foods might taste great, but they're doing your liver no favors. Refined sugars are some of the worst offenders when it comes to liver health, especially after 60. When you eat too much sugar, your blood sugar spikes and your body produces more insulin to manage it. But over time, if this happens too often, your body stops responding to insulin the way it should. That's called insulin resistance, and it's a huge warning sign for fatty liver. What's worse is that this doesn't just stay in the liver. It can also lead to type 2 diabetes, weight gain, and even heart disease, all from something as simple as dessert. Now, let's talk about fried foods. Yes, we all love them: French fries, fried chicken, onion rings, and even some frozen snacks we pop into the oven. But these foods are often cooked in oils that become toxic when heated at high temperatures. These damaged oils form compounds that are incredibly hard for your liver to break down. And when your liver is constantly trying to filter out these harmful substances, it gets overwhelmed. That leads to inflammation and fat buildup, and in serious cases, it can progress to liver fibrosis, cirrhosis, or even liver cancer. And that's not all. Let's not forget about fast food burgers, pizzas, nuggets, and fries. They're convenient, they're cheap, and they're everywhere. But they're also full of saturated fats, refined carbs, and sodium. This type of food adds extra fat not just around your waistline, but also around your liver. The more often you eat fast food, the higher your chances of developing non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. Even people who aren't overweight can suffer from it because of how these foods mess with your metabolism. Studies show that regular fast food eaters have higher levels of liver enzymes, a clear sign that their liver is in distress. So if you're over 60 and concerned about your liver health, cutting back on refined sugar, fried food, and fast food isn't just a good idea, it could be life-changing. Your liver works hard for you every single day. The least we can do is take better care of it. 7. Impact of salt and processed meats. Never eat this fruit if you're over 60 and have a fatty liver. It's probably sitting in your kitchen right now. Most people think fruits are always healthy, but when it comes to fatty liver, that's not always true. In fact, there's one fruit that seems harmless but can actually make your liver worse if you're over 60. And the crazy part is, it's probably something you eat often, especially when you're trying to snack healthier. So what is it, and why is it such a problem? Let's break it down. When we talk about liver health, most people immediately think about alcohol or fatty foods. But there's a quiet villain hiding in plain sight, and that's sugar. And not just the sugar you add to your coffee, but the natural kind found in some fruits too. Now, the liver plays a huge role in processing sugar, but when you're older, especially over 60, your liver's ability to do that slows down. And if you're already dealing with fatty liver, this one healthy fruit can actually add to the problem. What fruit are we talking about? Grapes, especially in the form of raisins. Grapes are loaded with natural sugars called fructose. Now, fructose isn't automatically bad, but your liver is the only organ that can break it down. So when you eat too many grapes or raisins, your liver ends up doing all the work. And if it's already stressed from fatty buildup, this overload of sugar turns into more fat right inside your liver. And that's just the start. High amounts of fructose can also cause inflammation, leading to scarring in liver tissues over time. And that scarring is what can turn a fatty liver into something far more dangerous. Plus, grapes and raisins are often eaten in large amounts because they're easy to snack on, and they seem healthy. But a small handful can pack as much sugar as a candy bar. If you're already eating things like crackers, processed meats, or salty snacks on top of that, your liver's getting hit from all sides. Salt might not seem connected to sugar, but it plays a sneaky role too. Too much salt pulls water out of your cells and can leave you dehydrated. When you're dehydrated, your liver doesn't flush out toxins as well. And when toxins build up, it just adds more pressure to an already stressed liver. Think about processed meats like bacon, ham, or sausages. They're loaded with both salt and fat. That double combo forces your liver to work overtime. And if you mix that with sugary fruits like grapes, you're stacking up problems fast. So here's the bottom line. If you're over 60 and dealing with a fatty liver, be super careful with grapes and raisins. They may look harmless, but the sugar in them can quietly add to liver damage over time. Better fruit options? Go for ones lower in sugar and higher in fiber like berries, especially blueberries or raspberries. They support your liver instead of stressing it. And when it comes to salty or processed foods, keep them rare. Your liver already has a big job. Don't make it harder. 8. Ultra-processed foods and pastries. Ultra-processed foods might look like a quick fix, but for your liver, especially after 60, they're a hidden danger. These foods are everywhere: frozen pizzas, instant noodles, sugary breakfast cereals, snack bars, ready-made lasagna, and even healthy-looking protein cookies. They're cheap, taste great, and are super easy to make. But behind the colorful packaging is a mix of ingredients that your liver just can't handle, especially if it's already struggling with fat buildup. One of the worst parts? Trans fats. These are artificial fats used to make food last longer and taste better, but they come at a cost. Trans fats directly feed fat into your liver. They also trigger inflammation, which damages liver cells and makes it harder for your liver to recover. When your liver is inflamed, it can't do its main job filtering toxins and processing nutrients. And that's when the damage starts to build up. It doesn't stop with frozen meals and salty snacks. Even those sweet little cookies or pastries you grab with your coffee can be a big problem. Sure, they're easy. You open the bag, eat a few, and move on with your day. But those pastries are packed with sugar, refined flour, and oils that do nothing good for your body. These are what we call empty calories. They fill you up but give your body nothing in return. No fiber, no real vitamins, no support for your organs, just more work for your liver. When your diet includes a lot of ultra-processed snacks like this, your metabolism gets thrown off. Your body starts storing more fat, especially in your liver. And that's what leads to a condition called fatty liver or hepatic steatosis. This means fat builds up inside your liver cells, slowing everything down. Over time, it can turn into inflammation and even scarring. So even if you're not eating a lot, if what you are eating is mostly processed snacks and sweets, your liver is paying the price. That's why if you're over 60, it's so important to cut back on ultra-processed foods and pastries. Choose real food when you can, like whole grains, fresh fruits in moderation, veggies, and healthy fat. Your liver will thank you, and you'll feel the difference in your energy and digestion. 9. Grilled meats and preparation risks. Grilled meat might look like a smart, healthier choice, especially compared to fried food. It's got that nice golden crust, no heavy oils, and a delicious smoky flavor. So it makes sense why a lot of people, especially those trying to eat better, turn to grilling as their go-to way of cooking. But here's something most people don't know. Eating too much grilled meat, especially red meat, can actually hurt your liver over time. It's not just about the meat itself, it's about what happens when you grill it and what your body has to do to break it down. When you cook meat at high temperatures, like on a grill, it creates harmful compounds that can damage your liver cells if you eat them too often. And it gets worse when you're over 60 because your body isn't as quick at repairing damage as it used to be. That means the little bits of harm from grilled food can build up over time. But that's not the only problem. Animal protein, especially from red meat, is hard work for your liver. When you eat a lot of it, your liver has to process large amounts of nitrogen and waste products. This puts stress on the liver's natural filtering system. Imagine your liver as a sponge. It can absorb and clean out toxins, but if you keep pouring more and more into it, eventually it gets overloaded. That overload leads to fat buildup and, in time, inflammation. And if you're already dealing with a fatty liver, or you're in that high-risk age group over 60, this kind of stress just speeds up the damage. It can also make your body store more fat in your liver, something called hepatic steatosis. Once fat starts collecting there, your liver gets slower and less efficient. That can cause issues with digestion, blood sugar, and even energy levels. So while a grilled steak might look like a better choice than a greasy burger, it's not totally innocent. It's fine to enjoy now and then, but if you're eating grilled red meat several times a week, your liver might be paying the price without you realizing it. Instead, think about cutting back and trying more plant-based proteins like beans, lentils, tofu, or even fish once in a while. They're easier on your liver and still give you the protein your body needs without all the stress and buildup that comes with heavy red meat. 10. Foods that support liver health. It's not all bad news when it comes to your liver. While some foods silently damage it, others actually help heal and protect it, especially important if you're over 60 and trying to stay healthy. One of the easiest and cheapest helpers? Lemon. Yep, that simple fruit sitting in your kitchen might be one of your best allies. Lemons are packed with vitamin C and antioxidants, which help your liver flush out toxins. Starting your day with a glass of warm lemon water, adding it to salads, or mixing it into tea is a small habit that makes a big difference over time. It helps your liver work more smoothly and keeps harmful waste from building up. Another group of foods your liver loves? Cruciferous vegetables. This includes broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, and Brussels sprouts. These veggies are full of fiber, antioxidants, and natural compounds that help your liver break down toxins and clear them out faster. Just adding a serving of broccoli to your lunch or dinner a few times a week can do wonders. They're also affordable, easy to cook, and go with pretty much any meal. Don't like them steamed? Try roasting them with a little olive oil and garlic. It's delicious and liver-friendly. And let's not forget about walnuts. These little nuts are way more than just a crunchy snack. They're rich in omega-3 fatty acids and glutathione, both of which reduce inflammation in the liver. Walnuts also contain arginine, an amino acid that helps the liver get rid of ammonia, one of the many waste products your body creates every day. And when your liver doesn't have to work as hard clearing out toxins, it can focus on healing and staying strong. Just a small handful of walnuts a day is enough to make a difference. Whether you're snacking on them plain or tossing them into a salad, they're a great addition to your diet. So while it's true that some foods hurt your liver, especially as you get older, others are like natural medicine. Lemons, broccoli, and walnuts are easy to find, easy to eat, and can support your liver in powerful ways. Making smart choices with food doesn't have to be complicated or expensive. Sometimes, the most helpful things are already sitting right there in your kitchen. Consumed in moderation and within a balanced diet, walnuts are a real boost to your liver's defense. This silent organ works day and night to keep your body clean, strong, and balanced, but when overloaded, it sends subtle signals, which we often overlook until it's too late. The good news is that you have the power to change this scenario. Calm, small daily choices such as reducing processed foods, fried foods, and refined sugars, and including more natural foods, you can transform the health of your liver. Remember, balance is key. Even fruits need to be consumed consciously. Knowledge is your greatest ally. Now that you know which foods help and which sabotage your liver, it's time to take action. Don't wait for symptoms to appear to start taking care of yourself. Your body deserves attention today. Look for a health professional to assess your condition, review your habits, and monitor your evolution. The path to a healthy liver starts with a decision, change. You don't have to do it all at once, but you need to take the first step. If you found this video helpful, make sure to hit that like button. It really helps the channel. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss out on future videos. I'd love to hear your thoughts, so drop a comment below and let me know what you think. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.